Just a really quick video on immersion. So it's a thing that comes up a lot with language learning. I just wanted to explain it in like 3 minutes or something. I actually made this PowerPoint a while ago, so it looks a little bit shite compared to the ones I've been making. Same with the thumbnail, sorry about that. Because I made it a while ago and it's just been sitting here, so I'll just smash it out in like 2 minutes. What is immersion? Immersion is basically the practice of surrounding yourself with something. So a rock can be immersed in water if you just drop it in a bucket of water. So with language learning, immersion is basically you surround yourself with that language, and as a result you learn. And the reason this is effective is because that's actually how you learn English. So you can learn English without knowing any language just from immersion. Your parents talk to you when you were young, and over time you learn the language basically. So it is an extremely effective learning method. If the brain is constantly exposed to something, it actually the neurons actually have to adapt to this. So I don't know a lot about brain. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot about how the brain works and stuff. But basically, as far as learning goes, the more you do something effectively, the more important your brain sees it as. That's why people who do something for a job, for example, mechanics don't need to pull out the instruction manual for basic things that they know how to do because they've done it so much. It's wired in their brain, it's in their long-term memory because they do it a lot, whereas someone who's not a mechanic would not be able to do that basically, even if they have been shown like once or twice, basically because their brain doesn't regard that as critical information, so it's not going to compute it to long-term memory. If you're constantly exposed to something though, this is the best way to get into long-term memory, which is where you want your language knowledge to go, obviously, because if it's in your short-term memory, you just keep forgetting it. The only way to learn a language is to have it put into your long-term memory. So the way you immerse yourself is, there's different ways. There's total immersion, which is basically traveling to the country. So if you're learning French, you would not learning France. If you're learning French, you would travel to France and then be constantly surrounded by people speaking French, and that would be a really good way to learn. Obviously, it's good to have have a teacher and stuff still, and have someone who can speak English to you, but being completely surrounded by the language is very good. Everything you read, everything you see, because your brain has to adapt. And the next best thing would be, obviously that's very unrealistic, you can't move to another country. Sometimes you can, but generally you can't. So the next best thing is to just immerse yourself with content. So you try and at least do one thing each day in the language that you're learning. So be it reading a book, watching a vlog of, you can find vlogs of people just like in that country, or in New York where there's like a little Italy and like little communities and stuff of people who speak every language, just going around and like asking people questions like, oh, do you like the country you're from, and that kind of thing, and they just talk in that language. Some of them have subtitles, some of them don't. Just find the one that works for you. And yeah, that is also a form of immersion. Even though you're not completely immersing yourself, that thing is exposing you to the language. So yeah, that's better than nothing. Yeah, I basically just talked about that. So surround yourself with content. Obviously, people talking is the best, even if they're just native speakers or people who've learnt the language in your country. You don't have to go to the actual country, but yeah, reading books, watching movies is good. Staying consistent, that's how you get things into your long-term memory. So obviously you should try and practice every single day. Having a routine helps with staying consistent, and yeah, like I said before, you basically need to make your brain understand that you need to learn this language. So yeah, it's better for you to implement this as quick as possible. Obviously, I've never moved to a country. Not obviously, I haven't told you that before, sorry. I'm expecting too much of you. I've never moved to a country of the language I'm learning, but implementing that kind of stuff, like when I was learning Italian, for example, from the beginning, I tried to read books, surround myself with stuff, read the Italian news first thing in the morning. It was really good, because that's kind of like, it's just a normal thing, but it's in Italian now. And obviously, I'd still watch the actual news, so I knew what was going on, but I would just try and read it. Even when I spoke or bugger all Italian, I just look at like the headlines and stuff and try and make sense of it. They've got pictures and all that stuff as well. So yeah, that's basically how it goes. That's all there is really to immersion. It's just about surrounding yourself with the language, and it is good. So yeah, sorry I'm a little bit sick still, but yeah, just a quick video, and sorry again for the thumbnail. I know it's shite. I made it like a month plus ago when I was worse at making thumbnails. So yeah, just trying to explain it really quickly. Enjoy.